Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have been watching these characters navigate their complicated lives for decades, and let me tell you, the current situation with Steffy and Finn is tying my stomach in absolute knots. It is incredibly frustrating to watch John Finnegan pour his heart out, practically begging for forgiveness, while his wife harbors a massive, destructive secret that could destroy their entire world. I sit in my living room and just shake my head at the television screen because the hypocrisy on display is absolutely staggering to witness. Steffy is actively allowing this genuinely good man to carry the entire emotional burden of their marital issues, letting him believe he is the sole reason their relationship is currently on the rocks. It honestly breaks my heart to see Finn so vulnerable and deeply remorseful, completely unaware that the woman he is apologizing to has committed the ultimate betrayal behind his back. How long can she possibly look into his sincere pleading eyes and swallow the devastating truth about her drunken night with Carter Walton? When I try to get inside Steffi's head and analyze her motivations, I see a woman who is completely paralyzed by her own terrible mistakes and terrified of the impending consequences. I genuinely believe she originally thought she was justified in her fierce anger over the Sheila situation, but sleeping with Carter at the Forrester Creations office crossed a sacred line that she can never, ever uncross. Now, she is trapped in a suffocating prison of her own making, suffocating under the weight of her deception. My personal opinion is that her ongoing silence is not just about desperately trying to protect her marriage. It is heavily rooted in protecting her massive ego and the pristine, righteous image she always tries to project to the world. She managed to admit she overreacted about Sheila, which was a tiny step in the right direction, but omitting the affair makes that half apology feel completely hollow and manipulative to me. I evaluate her current situation as a dangerous ticking time bomb, and every single day she stays quiet, the eventual explosion is going to be infinitely more devastating. Does she really think a secret of this magnitude can stay buried in the gossipy fashion world forever? Looking at Finn right now, my heart just aches profoundly for the guy. He is a healer by his very nature, a compassionate man who desperately wants to fix broken things and restore harmony in his beautiful home. I watch him internalizing all this heavy guilt over his biological mother, Sheila, and I cannot help but feel a deep, burning sense of injustice on his behalf. Yes, his complex connection to Sheila caused immense pain for his family, but he is currently operating under the completely false assumption that he is the only one who damaged their sacred marriage vows. It is a terrible, painful thing to watch a devoted husband humble himself so completely while his wife selfishly holds back the ultimate marriage-shattering truth. I strongly suspect that his current remorse is going to curdle into something incredibly dark, bitter, and unrecognizable once those blinders are finally ripped off his eyes. The upcoming betrayal will not just be about the physical act she committed with Carter. It will be about the days, weeks, or months of looking him dead in the eye and lying by omission. We all know the absolute golden rule of daytime television. The truth always comes out, usually in the most painful, dramatic, and public way possible. I have been predicting for weeks that this ugly secret is going to shatter the Finnegan family into a million irreparable pieces, and I dread the day it finally happens. When Finn finally discovers that Steffy sought intimate comfort in the arms of Carter Walton, the sheer magnitude of the betrayal is going to break his spirit completely. I can already picture the look of absolute, soul-crushing devastation washing over his handsome face, replacing that gentle, loving expression we are so used to seeing whenever he looks at his wife. This is not just a random stranger she carelessly slept with. This is Carter, a man woven deeply into the very fabric of their daily lives and the Forrester family business. The psychological toll this revelation will take on Finn is going to be immense, and I deeply fear we are going to see a complete emotional unraveling of the noble doctor we have all grown to respect and admire over the years. One of the very first things I predict Finn will do when the heavy truth drops is directly mirror Steffy's own past actions, specifically recalling exactly what happened during that tense time in Monaco. I can vividly imagine the harsh poetic justice of Finn slowly, deliberately taking off his wedding ring and aggressively shoving it right in Steffy's tearful face. Remember how coldly she treated him when she felt betrayed and lost her trust in him? She did not hesitate for a second to weaponize their symbol of eternal commitment to make a point. I firmly believe Finn will use that exact same painful tactic to show her that her reckless actions have severe, immediate consequences. The powerful symbolism of that gold band coming off his finger will be a crushing blow to Steffy, a physical, undeniable manifestation of his broken trust and shattered heart. It would be a powerful, heartbreaking television moment that would force Steffy to realize she has pushed her loyal husband far past the point of no return. Will she finally understand the profound depth of his agonizing pain when she sees that bare finger pointing back at her? Beyond the dramatic removal of the ring, I cannot see any logical scenario where Finn remains living in that beautiful cliff house once the ugly truth is out in the open. That stunning home has been their safe sanctuary, the loving place where they built their life, overcame tragedies, and raised their beautiful children. But Carter's invisible shadow will forever taint its walls. I evaluate this living situation as completely untenable for a man of Finn's high moral integrity and deep emotional sensitivity. He is going to desperately need physical and emotional distance from the woman who lied to him so profoundly and effortlessly. I can easily see him angrily packing his bags and storming out the door, feeling completely unable to breathe the same air as the wife who carelessly betrayed their sacred vows. If Carter decides to make a passionate, guilt-ridden confession first, that might just be the explosive catalyst that drives Finn out the door into the cold, lonely night. The Cliff House will instantly transform from a warm, loving home into a haunting, painful reminder of Steffy's infidelity, and my heart breaks just thinking about Finn leaving those empty rooms behind. Speaking of Carter, I am incredibly disappointed and frankly disgusted by his role in this entire messy situation. I have always viewed Carter as the steady, moral compass of the Forrester Circle, a decent man who values loyalty, friendship, and respect above all else. For him to engage in a drunken, reckless tryst with a married woman, especially someone as deeply connected as Steffy, completely shatters my long-held perception of his character. I suspect the heavy guilt is already eating him alive from the inside out, and that intense internal battle is going to have massive, destructive ripple effects across the entire canvas. If Carter is the one who ultimately breaks down under the pressure and confesses the sordid truth to Finn, the resulting dynamic between these two once friendly men will be absolutely explosive. I cannot help but wonder how Carter even looks at himself in the mirror right now, knowing full well he actively participated in the destruction of a marriage he previously supported and admired. It makes me question everything I thought I knew about his core character and his supposed high moral standards that he always preaches to others. As I sit here quietly reflecting on this entire tragic, impending mess, I feel a profound sense of emotional exhaustion for these beloved characters. We have watched Steffy and Finn overcome so many incredible, life-threatening obstacles, from actual near-death experiences to the constant, terrifying, looming threat of Sheila, only to see them destroyed from the inside out by their own lies and infidelity. It is a very sobering, realistic reminder that sometimes the greatest, most lethal threats to a marriage do not come from external villains or crazy stalkers, but from our own incredibly poor choices and our stubborn inability to be honest with the people we claim to love most. Steffy is eventually going to have to face the music, and the deafening symphony of destruction that follows will violently change the landscape of the Forrester and Finnegan families forever. I'm firmly bracing myself for the emotional fallout, knowing full well that the dramatic journey ahead is going to be incredibly painful, yet totally impossible to stop watching. What do you all think will be the absolute final straw that breaks John Finnegan's spirit completely and ends this marriage for good?